Hey everyone, Buckeye Hiker. Realized I never made my video for my post-trip thoughts after my first overnight trip. So I thought while I was doing this little day hike, I'd go ahead and do that and maybe practice my video blogging skills. That was also the longest hike I'd ever done. Probably through some of the hillier terrain I'd ever been in for a hike. I went to Zaleski State Forest here in southern Ohio. I believe we did the southern loop, parking at the schoolhouse. And we got there, didn't see anybody, seen a few cars, but the parking lot wasn't too crowded. It's one of the first decent weekends. And the guys I went with they'd backpacked before, but not for several years, and not very often in Ohio. And we started our hike. The first mile, you go up a very steep hill, and I think we were all kind of thinking, "Wow, I hope the whole 6 miles to the camp isn't like this. This is pretty intense." But got up that hill, and then it was ridge walking for a ways. Everything started going pretty smooth. Scenery is pretty good. The trees weren't near as green as they are now. I mean, in the last week, everything has really greened up quite a bit, and wasn't quite this green yet. I mean, you can still see the ridges real well. And got our miles in, got to camp. And when we got to camp, we didn't see anybody on the way there. No one. And that's because everyone was already at camp. There must have been probably, I would say, between 20 and 30 tents there. Which is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I guess we were all kind of expecting to be alone or close to alone. And that was not the case. My first video, I mentioned that I was kind of, had my jitters about sleeping in the tent and noises, if I could sleep through them okay. To be honest, the only thing that really kept me awake was the other tents beside me snoring. That and there was a couple hunting dogs I could hear in the distance, as well as 2 helicopters. Other than that, I slept great. Got down to about 30. I was a little nervous about that, but slept in my down jacket and I was fine. It was good. Woke up the next morning, ate breakfast, packed up, and left. And I loved it. Had a great time, and can't wait to do it again. Hadn't really made up our minds just yet. I don't know if you can see that, but just about stepped on that snake right there. I had to stop the clip back there. On top of seeing the little snake, I ran out of trail, so I had a couple blowdowns in the way and had to bushwhack around them. Speaking of snakes, we did see on that trip a gigantic black snake. Like, that guy had just eaten some little mammal. And then we also seen a gardener snake of some kind. He didn't look like that one though, so I'm not sure what he was. I know he wasn't a copperhead and he wasn't a timber rattler. But I know that's something I used to worry about quite a bit, because I'm scared to death of snakes. But I don't know, when you're out here with them, I mean, like that little guy, I almost stepped on him and he didn't even move. I mean, I'm sure some snakes might not have been so cool about almost being stepped on by an ogre like myself. But, just kind of wanted to live with it, I guess. But, yeah, the first trip was a success. Can't wait to go out again. Thinking maybe, probably somewhere in southern Ohio. Want to do a little bit longer trip this time. The first trip, it was only, I think it was like 11 and a half total miles one day, or a day and a night. I think next time we're going to try to do a full weekend, or maybe a 3-day. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Have any suggestions on places to go in Southern Ohio? Comment below. Thanks.